Welcome back. Welcome to Larissa Lily's Temperance. Today we're going to talk about the Mercury Retrograde, and this is going to be, just a soft voice ASMR audio. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed my last one. Whoever had taken the time to listen to it about the full moon in Aries that we had, that was very, very intense. So this is going to be about Mercury retrograde. I'll try to go as slow and keep it as soft as possible. I'm sure you hear that noise in the background, and here it's raining, so there's a little banging of the rain on my air conditioner, and I'm sure some of you will appreciate that white noise, because honestly it's one of those things here in the city, when it rains, you kind of appreciate. It's like a relaxing day when you hear that rain hit the air conditioner and everything's actually very, very, very quiet outside, and so everyone's just kind of home and just embracing the nice rain home. So for this Mercury retrograde, starting October 13th, you guys, we're here on another retrograde. We're still in the effects of Mars retrograde, and that will continue until November 13th. So we've got 2 retrogrades now. So the energies are going to be very, very intense for some of you, but I am here to help to give some guidance and just an understanding of what to expect, and what everyone can, how everyone can actually transmute these energies and really work things out for the better, and just ease it for yourself, because that is the goal. So as we did last time, I'm going to light up a candle now, because who wouldn't want one? Who wouldn't want a little candle lit with this rain? So just give me a second as I start, because this is like a nice little meditative time for us to spend. So I would like everyone to find a space where they can have no interruptions. Find your space and relax your body, where you can relax your body, and position in a where you don't feel any tension, whether you're laying down or sitting, whatever makes you feel relaxed. Let your mind now just transfer its focus to my voice, and just take in now and just really relax. So let's take a deep breath in, and then we're going to take a deep breath out. We want our mind space to allow the messages to come in, and we also want to feel our emotional body as we listen. So let's all just take a deep breath in. And out. One more time. Deep breath in. So we're gonna talk about how this Mercury is going to affect us, and I go into details of what sometimes you'll encounter, what some of you will be encountering, and then after I give some guidances that I meditated on with some oracle cards I have here. So I have messages here for you guys all, and take maybe all of them will resonate and maybe a message you need, or maybe one or two, but the guidances are always nice, and I love how it's always so appropriate for the cosmo transition we are experiencing. So Mercury retrograde can interfere strongly with our communication, technology, our travel plans can cause many delays during this time. And the one that most people sometimes can't stand is it's known for the return of exes and repeated karmic lessons, right? So who wants to repeat lessons during this time? But they resurface because it's either something we didn't learn, or it's just something we keep repeating. So we have to take responsibility for that. These effects tend to be very uniformed, so it is important to be in a state of awareness during these retrogrades, because you will start to pick up on patterns, and once you recognize them, it becomes easier to transmute the energies. And Mercury retrograde allows for deep reflection, and an opportunity to work through feelings and repeating patterns. As I was saying, it's not always what we want to see, but it is simply what our higher self is bringing to our attention of what we need to attend to at this very moment in time. So I invite you to allow this month to bring you the transitions you need. Our focus should always be to nourish our souls, and allow the healing and transitions to take place. We want to experience peace and happiness within, and that requires us to meet our souls in the middle. It's a responsibility. In order for us to really work on our happiness and our peace, we have to meet our souls in the middle, and that requires us also to nourish our souls. So we have to ask ourselves in an authentic way, how bad do I want it, right? How bad do we want it? How bad do we want the happiness? How bad do we want the peace? How bad do I want to change my life? How bad do I want this peace? So we're going to touch on a few things, about the Mercury retrograde. It's entering Scorpio towards the end. So Scorpio, for those who have Scorpio, will obviously feel the intensity and the effects a little stronger. This Mercury retrograde, when it always lands for me during this season, is probably one of the toughest ones for me, because I am Scorpio. I'm Scorpio moon sign, so I always wonder for a long time before my awakening, it was always so difficult during this time, and I never understood why was it the hardest. I associated with holidays weren't my thing, and it was just so rough for me all the time, and I never really felt like I had like the greatest memories during this time. So when I finally realized, I was awake and started seeing the patterns, that's when I really started to pay attention. And then I knew I had to recreate different memories and different patterns. And, it's a work in progress, it's a work in progress. The evolution of the soul is a work in progress. And that's okay. We can't put the pressures in ourselves, and we can't. Oh, you hear the birds now? You hear that? Okay. Yeah, we can't. I guess the birds are confirming. I guess, what I'm saying is we can't put that pressure on ourselves of not always, making improvements, because every little stride and towards improvement is improvement. So we have to forgive ourselves and then remember to do better. So this retrograde will be felt more in relationships. So for some of you, love will bloom. And for others of you, love can be an obstacle. Your relationships can be an obstacle. There can be challenges and difficulties, especially the fact that, Mercury retrograde interferes with communication, and along with our Mars retrograde, which is very intense in Aries, very intense, frustrating, really harsh passions that are out. If you listen to my last video on the effects of the Mercury and the full moon in Aries, but maybe some of you are already experiencing lighter effects of that. I sure am. I definitely had a lot of interruptions, more on technology. Strangely, I've never experienced that, but I'm also noticing I'm experiencing the cosmos shifts much sooner than most. So the effects come to me much sooner than a lot of people. So effects of this retrograde, you guys. This would be a good time to set healthy boundaries and be clear with our communication. We must take responsibility of how we make other people feel, because that is also a reflection of how we feel in the inside. Remember, we want to make sure that we are monitoring our own temperament at all times. Avoiding important conversations through text is recommended for sure. I always say texting is for kids. Like the old cereal. I mean, maybe I'm old. Do you guys remember that old cereal commercial? Kicks are for kids, and that's how I feel about texting. Texting are for kids. So I think it's always important to remember that, the difficult conversations should never be interacted through texting. It should, always be a face-to-face, so people can really allow for the communication of the body and the heart, and it's just much softer when you're talking to someone face to face, or just even on the phone, where they can really hear the tone of your voice and how you are expressing yourself, with whatever has to be expressed in that moment. So just be mindful of that. I think it's always important to remember that avoidance doesn't set you free. So when you avoid those conversations and you let them be through through text messaging. That's a form of escapism, and it's a form of avoidance. And we want to avoid that as much as possible because it's just not genuine, and that's a responsibility. It's a responsibility to ourselves, right? So being clear and honest will help calm any anxieties that may come about, when in energies or encounters that require that level of care and sensitivity towards. Communication also feels tense during this time, and so consider finding common ground, to ease differences. That usually, will help. When it comes to those we love, emphasize with them and do your best to hear the unspoken deeper sides, the unspoken deeper sides of them that may exist. It's always those unspoken words, right? And so you have, as an empath, for those who are empaths, it's time to empathize with that, and try to hear that. Negative encounters usually have to do with aspects of the individual, right? So that is still, and aspects of them that is unresolved. So when these negative encounters happen, they're just still aspects that within ourselves that are still unresolved. So there's no need to point fingers, but there's things that obviously clarification is always needed and communication is required. So if you are here, and listening to this simply puts you in a position to know, that you have a stronger sense of self-awareness, right? It is a responsibility, to act as if that they too are going through the energetic transitions as well. And even though they may not be in the same level of conscious awareness as you, doesn't mean that they can't get there, right? So your reaction is always validating something to that person. Remember that, whether they understand it that way or not. We are always planting seeds. Remembering that is important, we're always planting seeds. So let it be a seed that brings growth, change, and reflection in any case, right? Because this is about our growth, and this is about our evolution, change, and helping one another to take our higher self and our soul to the next level, because that is the contribution. At the end of the day, that is the contribution we're all doing for each other, whether we recognize it that way or not, So also careful to be neglectful during this time. Reprioritizing may be required, as energies will also bring about sensitivities. So pay attention to your own inner needs, and where you may have been neglecting yourself. Your higher self may be calling you, to remember you. Maybe you've been too focused on work or the housework or the kids. You can find that tension in your body increasing. So, try to pay attention. What is what is your body telling you? What is it asking you to do? Take a moment, and hear your thoughts. A lot of the times, we neglect to hear the truth of what our own self-talk is saying. So it's just retrogrades is a good time to pay attention during these retrogrades of those things. And also another thing I want to point out is be mindful of your loved ones who struggle more with processing their emotions. Those loved ones who experience depression. So if you're experiencing harsh energies, loved ones can also experience their depressions may be a little deeper than usual. So let's be mindful of others as well. Take care of your elders. I think people tend to, it makes me so sad when I see elders always doing things alone, even though I know some of our elders are very stubborn and afraid to lose their independence, and so we just have to allow them and be patient with them. But I feel sometimes we forget that they feel lonely during these times too. So pay them a visit, ask them how they are doing, how they are feeling, and just listen. So, please, take care of your elders during this time. Another thing this retrograde can bring about is some fears around vulnerability. And fears around vulnerability usually stems from not feeling safe. So many of us, have experienced trauma of some kind, and we've been hurt, and it puts this wall from anything entering. And as time goes, this wall, can get thicker and thicker and thicker. And as this wall thickens, we distance ourselves farther and farther away from our hearts and its purity. So, during this time, we then forget that. We forget that beautiful feeling of loving free, and, that beautiful childlike feeling. That fuels our soul. That our inner child becomes wounded, and it forgets what it feels like to play. And so it loses its innocence. Our inner child loses its innocence. And so let's remember that inner child and nourish it in this time, whether it's through writing, drawing, painting. I would like to recommend a page of a wonderful YouTuber who has amazing therapeutic intuitive doodling channel, and it's so relaxing, and her name is Elizabeth Sampson. I will link one of her videos below in case anyone is interested in doodling and drawing, and it's extremely relaxing. I love watching them because it's extremely relaxing, and the artwork is very beautiful. So if you're a great artist and doodler, then you'll enjoy it as well. So what I'm saying is find something that will embrace that inner child, and don't neglect it anymore. You will see over time that you will heal yourself and will open yourself up more. So also during this time, it is important for words and our actions to match. We need our words to match our actions. Yeah, and there is a level of accountability of our words to our actions, where if they do not match, we are only truly misguiding ourselves, right? So this principle, I always feel is a very important principle, because this is the one that pertains to that saying, be the change you wish to see in the world. And I always love that, because I always try to remind myself, how can I be that change? How can I do better? And also my actions, what I'm showing. So every day you are creating change when other people in your surroundings, whether you know them or not, they see your actions. So every day you're creating an impact. Remember that, okay? So every day you're creating an impact. It is also a time to make sure we are sharing our values and standards, the ones that are truly important. Values and standards are the things that make us feel respected, and respect is important. And during these times, it can be challenging again with communication, and can oftentimes violate those standards and those values of ours. So sometimes we can allow people to slip through the cracks, and we dishonor ourselves by not enforcing those standards that are important to us, and that also contribute to our peace. Remember, inner peace is always the goal. We're always working towards our inner peace, so inner peace is always the goal. So we are also, we are the first demonstrators of how people should treat us, right? So you are deserving of those values and those standards. So treat yourself as is, and everyone will follow suit. Okay, so the other thing I was thinking also, and I wanted to mention, is that the last one, of course, is the always tends to bring back, these retrogrades always tends to bring back the past, and someone may resurface and closure may be required, right? So when given this opportunity, because in all honesty it is, if you look at it that way, you must view yourself as you are and in a different place than what that person last encountered you. Notice who you are now, and if this person resurfaced you, remember you were a different person the last time they encountered you. And it's also a true test to how much you've grown, and not so much of what that person needs to address, but more of how much you've grown, and how much you've expanded, and how much you've healed. And embrace the lesson if it shows up. If it shows up during this time, embrace the lesson and properly close that door if that's what you wish, but with the new version of you. not the one they remember you as. And if you wish to allow that person back in, still allow them. But as I just mentioned before, make clear your values and your standards during this time. Communicate them clearly. Remember, you are the enforcer of those values and standards. They will only work if you work them. So remember that. You can also find people expressing in sarcastic ways and in paranoia. So do be careful. Sometimes, these people can interrupt that piece of yours as well. So be careful with, the way we're expressing ourselves, because it can also cause triggers. And again, as we were saying, we want to be careful. And we want to be accountable for our own reactions during this time. I think I'm gonna open up the messages. Yeah, we're gonna go through the messages now that I have meditated on, and Spirit has given me these beautiful messages that I want to share. So, of course, with everything said, you guys, remember, Mercury retrogrades allow us to correct and learn from our past mistakes. That's what this is about. That's what this season, is about. And it's beneficial. It's a beneficial time to be in reflection, and it's an opportunity to grow and to nurture our internal world. Okay? So we're going to begin with our oracle messages. And the first beautiful message that I received was from my oracle card, the love inner goddess / God, right? Because it doesn't matter gender here, but the oracle message is soul sisters, which makes perfect sense during this time, because this retrograde is definitely focusing a lot around relationships and our partnerships. So soul sisters, two hearts, sisterhood, one soul, right? So I like to read because I love this, and I love the messages that comes from the guidance book. So we're gonna, give me a second, we're gonna just get the page so I can read to you the message. So, soul sisters, in some relationships nourish your soul, whilst others damage it. A nourishing relationship has an effect on your soul, just like nourishing food does on your body. It makes you feel good, increases your energy to live your life, and enhances your well-being. Healthy relationships for your soul are those that uplift, inspire, and help you become more of yourself with fearlessness. They do not drag your feet down into anxiety and confusion. Some people may love you, but just not know how to be in a relationship with you that is healthy for your soul. With such people, you will either need to show them how to be in your life in a soul-loving way, or take extra special care of yourself when you are around them. Sometimes this will not be enough to protect you from the negative influences of the relationship, and you will need to walk away. This can be sad because yet it also creates space for your soulmates to enter your life. These are the people with whom you share a deep and real connection. You love each other in a way that frees you to be yourselves. We attract new soulmates into our worlds by being good to ourselves. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, about your standards and your values. You want to honor yourself, and you want to treat yourself as is, and everyone will follow suit. So be your own best friend first. Require respect in your relationships. Then you will find it easy to recognize the people who genuinely love you and invite them into your heart. Beautiful. The next message is from the Heart and Soul Oracle, and it reads, "Do not give in to fear and doubt. Courage is called for right now. Face your fear, look at things objectively. You are safe and all is well. Fill your fear with love beyond fear. Love is guiding you, urging you to break free. You will succeed." Yeah. We have a lot of obviously fear going on during this time, and so the thing that, the energy that fights fear is love. So make sure to fill your fear with love, and I think that is so appropriate for where we are right now. So my next favorite oracle is the Spirit of the Animals Oracle, and I'm going to read a little bit as well from the book, the Oracle book, but the message is the puffin. Partnerships, which is partnerships. Again, we're back with soul, family, and partnerships here. Accept yourself and your colorful personality. Feel confident about being you. You are a joy bringer. Let your community nourish and protect you. Ask for help. Teamwork will give you the best results. And so again, it's being in collaboration with our partners and the people we're most close to. So, we don't wanna we want to make sure we're always in a state of love with our connections and the ones that matter to us. So I just want to read a little bit from the Spirit Animals Oracle book, just about the puffin, and because it just adds a little more layer to it. So the puffin is about companionship, colorful groups, loyalty, sensual, good parent, awkward hard worker, and fun. Puffins live in extremes of cold and seasonal darkness. They mate for life, and their love keeps them warm. Puffins, with their natural tuxedos, are dressed up in black and white with just a touch of color. They have a big attitude and are very expressive. Puffins are caring and thoughtful parents. When they leave their young to go to sea, they leave their offspring with relatives for safety. Puffins are clumsy creatures on land, but are incredible dancers in the sea. They belong to the water. Their lives are long, loving, and never lonely. Puffin people share these amazing qualities. They are fun, colorful, hardworking, loving, and full of contrasts. They like to dress up and strut their stuff. Puffin people can see the best qualities and beauty in everyone and never focus on their foibles. If Puffin is your totem, the desire for a lifelong mate will be strong. Partnership is important to you. Cooperation to care for the young is a dominant point of focus. Warm companionship is your aim to remember to nurture your relationships. Wow, so much about nurturing our relationships, but nurturing ourselves and how to connect with the people we love. And so again, it's so appropriate during this time, these messages. I'm loving them. And then I have 2 more last messages from the Akashic messages, my Akashic Oracle deck. And the first one is, open my heart to joy. When you are fully connected and engaged in your life, your heart brims with joy. It is not something you can control. It happens naturally. Find ways to fill yourself up. Treat your creativity more generously. Accept the opportunities that present themselves. Worry less about money and discover what really brings you happiness. It's about nurturing. Open my heart to joy is about nurturing our internal world right now. And the last message here is fire rising. Your root chakra rumbles with the intensity of a volcano on the verge of eruption. Source this power and you are unstoppable. Feel your feet rooted in the earth and let your belly expand with each deep breath. The shield of the water warrior protects you as you are led to the sacred battlefield of your soul. Courage is your guide, and what no longer serves your highest good is quickly defeated. The cleansing fires reveal your heart's true calling, and you are positioned to accomplish all that you set out to do. Are you rooted in your body? Are you prepared to bring your dreams into reality? So this is a great time. You can still use manifestation during this time. Life is about manifesting and transmuting our energies. And although we in Mercury Retrograde, we can, whatever lessons are resurfacing for each and every one of us individually, we have an opportunity to transmute that and to recreate a different reality for ourselves, and one we truly want. So last but not least, I want to give my remedy. I would like to recommend for this Cosmo shift. And that is, I give a question. Last month I gave the question. So for this month, I would like everyone to think about, if I had to donate my heart away to bring light and purity to another, what must I do now to prepare my heart for that exchange? I'm going to repeat that one more time. I'm going to read it a little slower because I want everyone to think about it. Okay? Just think about it. If I had to donate my heart away to bring light and purity to another, what must I do now to prepare my heart for that exchange? whenever you feel challenged, in your interactions, think of this commitment. Remember these words. Just think about this commitment and just remember them and center yourself. Try to ground yourself and center yourself. So we're gonna close, and what I want is everyone to, let's just all take a deep breath now. Okay, so let's just all take a deep breath in. One more deep breath in. And out. We're just going to have a little few moments of silence as we can integrate the message and just everything we've just received. So let's just have a few moments of silence right now, okay? So, I'd like to thank you and everybody for spending some time with me and this message. Share any comments and thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. I love you all. Remember, live always relentlessly in striving aspiration. This is the evolution of your soul, and I am here to nurture you. Until next message. Bye.